Tonight, life-threatening injuries. The jaws of life used to get a Clayton man out of this car. A helicopter takes him to Syracuse. Also, Governor Cuomo wants solitary confinement to mean at least 4 hours out of the cell block for inmates. Lewis County officials worry the new proposal could be expensive. And longtime Potsdam Mayor Ruth Garner passes away.
You're watching the North Country's news station. 7 News this evening starts now. Live from downtown Watertown, here's Jeff Cole.
Good evening. Tonight, a Clayton man suffered life-threatening injuries after crashing his car in northern Jefferson County. Now, it happened just before noon, at about 10:30 actually, this morning on County Route 3 in the town of Alexandria. According to Jefferson County Sheriff's deputies, 30-year-old Jason Moore was driving when he failed to round a curve. The car hit a tree and then a power pole. Moore had to be freed by crews using the jaws of life. He was flown to a Syracuse hospital. Police describe his injuries as life-threatening. Charges are pending. In other news here tonight, less time in solitary. A new rule proposed by Governor Cuomo is aimed at local jails and inmates who are in solitary confinement. 7 News reporter John Moore joins us with local reaction. John.
Well, Jeff, even inmates who are in solitary confinement would get at least 4 hours a day outside of their cell. That's under Governor Cuomo's proposal. At the Lewis County Jail, officials say the rule is unclear and could be expensive. At the Lewis County Jail, there's no special place for solitary confinement. Instead, an inmate is simply confined to his or her cell.
They actually can communicate with the inmates that are out walking around in the day space. They have, most of them cells do have a visual to a television, so they're not, it's not what you see on TV.
So when Governor Cuomo wants all inmates in solitary to get at least 4 hours a day outside their cells,
the whole thing's going to depend on how the state hands out that definition of solitary confinement.
if it does apply to the Lewis County Jail, it may require more employees, and the jail administrator says it could be costly in terms of jail discipline.
To allow somebody out of their cell for 4 hours when they're serving a penalty undermines our discipline in a jail.
Now, officials at the Jefferson and St. Lawrence County Jails said they don't see the new rule as being a big problem. It's scheduled to take effect later this fall. Jeff.
John Moore, thank you. Watertown City Council candidate Ryan Henry Wilkinson asks Mayor Joe Butler to establish a charter commission. It would explore the way the city is run, questioning if there should be a city manager in charge or have a strong mayor form of government. Henry Wilkinson wants the latter, and he says if he's elected in November, there will be enough votes to establish the commission. But Mayor Butler has the authority to establish one now, he says, and should. Any formal changes would need to be voted on by residents. Now, Mayor Butler, responding, told us that he would never act independently or act alone on such an important issue, and he said it's ludicrous to think that he would do such a thing 2 weeks before an election. A woman who served years as the mayor of Potsdam has passed away. Ruth Gardner died peacefully at her home Wednesday. Gardner was also a current village trustee. In 1973, Gardner became the first woman to be elected as a village trustee. In 1977, she became Potsdam's first female mayor. It was a job she held until 1981, and then again from 1993 to 2005. At her 100th birthday in 2015, Gardner was lauded for her decades of service to the village, receiving letters from Governor Cuomo and U.S. Senator Charles Schumer. Gardner was 101 years old. We'll have more on her life and hear from folks who adored her tonight at 11 o'clock. In other news here tonight, meth busts and pounds of pot. Cases reported out of police departments in the North Country today. It includes 2 separate meth busts in Ogdensburg, a total of 5 people arrested, all accused of making meth. Also, a Hogansburg man allegedly was going 93 miles an hour on Route 81 in Jefferson County when he was pulled over by police, and they say they noticed an odor of marijuana. They say they then discovered 41 pounds of pot in the car. Read more about those stories on our website at WWNYTV.com. A month after Hurricane Maria slammed into Puerto Rico, donations from the North Country continue to pour in. 7 News reporter Aaron Bischoff checked back in with an Evans Mills pastor and a restaurant owner who have been collecting donations. Aaron.
Jeff, I caught up with Regina Velez today. She says the response from the community continues to be overwhelming. They called and the North Country answered, bringing an outpouring of donations to a Hurricane Maria donation drive a few weeks ago in Watertown. Organizers collected more than 3,000 cases of water.
We knew people would come out, but I could not even imagine. It was amazing.
But the donations haven't stopped since then. People have continued to bring donations to Regina Velez's restaurant and church in the village of Evans Mills.
She's 12 years old, decided to just walk around her neighborhood and be responsible in collecting donations. And she brought me this with the envelope and the money they collected, and it was just touched my heart so much.
Velez and others have raised more than $2,000. Velez will bring the money to Puerto Rico when she heads there on November 10th.
We're just going to help people face to face and whatever they need.
But before she goes, Velez is teamed up with the Watertown Sunrise Rotary to host a benefit dinner where guests will get a taste of Puerto Rico as it was both before and after the hurricane.
Then they're going to go to what is going to be known as the storm room, and it's going to be the sanctuary. We're going to convert it in how they are right now. How do you live when you don't have? That's going to be the appetizers.
The dinner will be held at Velez's restaurant and church in Evans Mills. It's on November 1st. Jeff?
Aaron, thank you. A former Watertown City police officer is out of state prison after serving most of a 12 to 15-year term for attempted murder and kidnapping. State inmate records indicate Michael Van Waldick was released from Clinton Correctional Facility in Dannemora last week. In December of 2004, Van Waldick hid outside the Luray Street apartment of Ryan Dorr. Van Waldick climbed a ladder to the second floor, shot and wounded Dorr, and then took his ex-girlfriend, Jessica Quinta. He later released Quinta, and after a search by police that lasted all night, Van Waldick surrendered. Van Waldick was convicted of second-degree attempted murder and kidnapping. A setback in federal court for a company giving millions of dollars to the St. Regis Mohawks. Dry-eye drug patents sold to the tribe have been ruled invalid. 7 News reporter Chris Spiker explains.
Patents for a dry-eye drug called Restasis were invalidated by a federal judge Monday. This decision could cost the St. Regis Mohawk tribe millions and end the pharmaceutical company Allergan's attempt to prevent competitors from making generic versions of Restasis. Now Allergan agreed to sell its patents to the St. Regis Mohawk tribe for nearly $14 million last month. Allergan also agreed to pay the tribe $15 million in annual royalties for 7 years to lease the patents back to the drug maker. The move tried to use the Akwesasne Reservation's sovereign immunity so Allergan could fight off patent reviews as well as lawsuits from other drug makers looking to make generic forms of Restasis. But a federal judge in Texas invalidated the patents. ArsTechnica.com obtained a copy of the judge's opinion, which says sovereign immunity should not be treated as a monetizable commodity for private entities to evade legal responsibilities. After the decision, Allergan said in a statement that the company remains committed to vigorously defending the intellectual property of their products. A St. Regis Mohawk spokesperson says the tribe is reviewing the decision and determining the impact on the tribe's patent business. Allergan says it will appeal the court's ruling. Chris Spiker, 7 News.
Dry as far as the eye can see. John Kubis with our forecast tonight. Hi, John.
Hey, Jeff. Yeah, the hits just keep on rolling. I mean, beautiful weather today. Quiet weather conditions setting up for overnight tonight. Let's check out the weather map so we can see the absence of really any inclement weather around the state, or for that matter, the Northeast. That's all courtesy of high pressure down to the south, and that's what's giving us the sunshine and also the very warm conditions courtesy of that southwesterly wind. Now, overnight tonight, we'll keep the skies clear and the threat of precipitation pretty much nil, and your lows in the very mild for this time of year, lower to middle 50s across the board. More sunshine tomorrow, but there are some changes in our extended forecast, and we'll talk about that coming up in a couple of minutes.
John, thank you. And still to come, we're talking JCC soccer in sports. And we say welcome home to Fort Drum Soldiers.
From the North Country's news station, you're watching 7 News This Evening with Jeff Cole. Tonight's weather with John Kubis. And your North Country sports with Mel Bussler.
Today, innovation in the Finger Lakes is helping build the new New York. Once home to the world's image center, New York State is now a leader in optics, photonics, and imaging, fueled by strong university partnerships, providing the world's best talent, and supported with workforce development to create even more opportunities. All across New York State, we're building the new New York. To grow your business with us in New York State, visit esd.ny.gov.
Getting screened for breast cancer just costs too much.
Copays are high and insurance has deductibles.
The cost is always an issue.
New York State leads the nation making breast cancer screenings cost-free. No copays, deductibles, or other costs. Screenings are free for nearly all women, even if you have no insurance. And early detection saves lives.
Now there are no excuses.
And no cost to me.
Get screened, no excuses. Go to ny.gov/getscreened.
The St. Lawrence University hockey season is underway. Don't miss a minute of the most exciting NCAA Division I hockey in the North Country. Appleton Arena will host a number of the nation's best college hockey teams this season, and the Skating Saints will showcase their skill and speed to continue their success. Come out and support the Scarlet and Brown, call the Appleton Arena box office, or visit the website today to purchase your tickets. Skating Saints hockey, it's a winner.
Military Matters, brought to you by Northern Credit Union.
So tonight on Military Matters, scenes on a Fort Drum that'll warm your heart. Soldiers home after a deployment, and 7 News reporter Natalie Kutchko follows one woman who was waiting to see her husband.
We've never experienced a ceremony or anything like this, so I don't know what to expect. I've been jittery and excited all morning.
Victoria Lewis sent her husband off for deployment to Europe 8 months ago. Since then, she's had to raise a family on her own.
Definitely an adjustment for sure. She was only a month old when he left, so getting used to having to do everything on my own with 2 kids was a challenge in and of itself.
Lewis, like many others, welcomed home more than 100 soldiers from the 10th Aviation Regiment, which is part of the 10th Combat Aviation Brigade at Fort Drum Wednesday morning. Most of them deployed early this spring. The 10th Aviation Regiment was stationed all over Europe, but headquartered primarily in Germany for anywhere from 7 to 10 months. Family members will tell you this reunion was a long time coming.
It's been 7 months, and that doesn't seem like a long time, but I feel like I've grown so much as a person. Is that a good surprise?
And of course, the moment they were both waiting for.
I've missed them a ton. It's been a long, 7-8 months, so it's very good to be home.
Good to be home. Looking around, you can tell there were many people that felt it was good to be home. Natalie Kutchko, 7 News.
And we say welcome back. John Kubis with your forecast next.
New TGI Fridays Big Ribs. Bigger, bolder, meatier. Just $12.99 for a full rack and 2 sides. Get it here or get it to go.
It's Truck Month at your Upstate Ford dealers with some of the best deals of the season on the trucks that lead the way. Ford F-Series, including a $199 a month lease on F-150. With best-in-class payload and gas mileage, it's no wonder F-Series has been #1 in America for 40 straight years. Now during Truck Month, lease a built Ford Tough F-150 for $199 a month. Just $199. Hurry into your Upstate Ford dealers today.
Cheney Tire is proud to offer the Michelin Defender, Michelin's best passenger and minivan tire ever, offering 70,000 miles of confident driving through exceptional safety, longevity, outstanding fuel efficiency, and a quiet, comfortable ride so that you can protect those you care about the most. The Michelin Defender stops up to 31 feet shorter and lasts up to 21,000 miles longer than the leading competition. Visit your friends soon at Cheney Tire for your new set of Michelin tires.
New TGI Fridays Big Ribs. Bigger, bolder, meatier. Just $12.99 for a full rack and 2 sides. Get it here or get it to go.
Now, tonight's weather.
Beautiful picture behind me. Let's all check it out together, shall we? This one taken in Redwood by Sam. Love the clouds, love the pasture, love the cows as well. Thank you much. Sure do appreciate the photo. Of course, if you've got one you'd like to share, send it to me at jkubis@wwnytv.net. Checking out the Doppler radar. Nothing going on right now, so moving right along to your numbers out of the airport. 60 degrees. Winds right now are calm, but they will be picking back up from the south and west overnight tonight. Pressure right now is high, and that high pressure is responsible for the gorgeous weather conditions today and also continuing, it looks like, tonight as well. 65 was the high, 49 the low. There you see the averages, and we're off a little bit on both ends. Your average high 57 and your average low 38. Records 80 set back in 1998. It was a chilly one in 72. We bottomed out at 16 degrees, 65 in Messina, 59 at Old Forge, and also in Kingston as well. Up north in Ottawa, well, they're at 63, mid-60s in Syracuse, lower 60s right now in Buffalo, New York City at 64, 68 at last check in Boston. Nice and warm out west, at least in Kansas City anyways. They're at 74. A little bit warmer still in Dallas at 83, and it looks like Miami currently at 85 degrees. In the southwest, Phoenix at 95. A little bit cooler in Seattle and in Billings. They're in the 60s, and cooler still in San Francisco. They're at 59. High pressure down to our south with a series of cold fronts up to our north and off to our west. I think for the most part it stays dry tonight and also during the course of the day tomorrow as well. The low pressure stays to the north, and that high pressure will be continue to influence our weather conditions. Your lows tonight and the very mild lower 50s across the board, clear skies, and during the day tomorrow, sunshine, a bit of a breeze from the southwest, and highs well above average in the middle to upper 60s across the board. Clear skies in Lewis County, 51 in Harrisville, 46 in Osceola. Tomorrow, sunshine, bit of a breeze. Highs anywhere from 63 in Osceola to 67 degrees in Lowville. Clear up north tonight, 53 in Messina, 47 in Wanakena. Tomorrow, sunshine, a bit of a breeze, southwesterly wind gusts potentially up to 30 miles per hour. But it's going to be mild, highs in the middle to upper 60s. Checking out your extended forecast, another mild overnight Thursday night, 45 for the low. Friday, 62 with sunshine. Saturday, looking nice, even warmer on Sunday. We'll have a mix of sun and clouds, highs in the upper 60s to start the weekend and lower 60s to end it. Next week, everything changes. Monday looking mild, but maybe a shower in the afternoon. Tuesday, rain is likely in 62, and then it gets cold on Wednesday. 54 for the high with rain showers likely. And on to today's weather class question, which is brought to you by Mahoney's Auto Mall. Celebrating 25 years in business, everyone who buys a car gets a 7-day cruise for 2 with all meals included. And that, my friends, is no baloney. Now, clear skies with good visibility occurs due to sinking air, dry air, low amounts of air pollution, or, well, a combination of all of the above. What do you think?
2 for 2 so far, Mel, this week. I'm going to go D.
D.
Combination? Oh, wow.
3 for 3.
Yeah. Better play the lottery. Excellent. All right.
I did for you. So
Would I win?
Yeah, well, nothing yet.
Fantastic. Yeah. I say the words Missy West. You say...
Extraordinary basketball player from Malone. Had a chance to cover her when she would play teams in the area. She's very good. Ended up at Duke. We'll visit with her next. Stay tuned.
Not on my watch, Mr. Flu Monster. There shall be no flu at Kinney Drugs.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
If you're thinking of buying a new car, you already know it's one of the biggest investments of your life. The best way to protect that investment is by realizing one thing: cars still rust. The roads you drive on constantly accumulate hazardous new chemicals, adding to the already corrosive effects of the natural environment. Put your car in the hands of certified technicians who know rust better than anyone else. Z-Bart, it's still us or rust. Contact this location today.
Closed captioning brought to you by Meade Optical, with offices in Lowville and at 1000 Washington Street in Watertown. Proudly serving the North Country for over 100 years. We're looking out for you.
Northern Radiology Imaging has taken the lead in the fight against breast cancer by investing in digital breast tomosynthesis. 3D mammography takes pictures in thin slices, giving their board-certified radiologists the ability to examine breast tissue at every level, increasing the chance doctors identify breast abnormalities earlier. Northern Radiology Imaging also offers same-day and next-day stereotactic and ultrasound-guided breast biopsies, getting you results as soon as possible. Call Northern Radiology Imaging to schedule your appointment today.
It's time for hockey. The Watertown Wolves are back, and now is the time to get your season ticket. Season ticket holders get great perks, like a trip voucher to over 3,500 destinations, an away game trip to Cornwall, 20% off merch, and more. Go to WatertownWolves.net and get your season tickets today.
Death Notices, every weekday morning on Fox 28 and at noon on 7 News. Honoring those recently lost. Death Notices, brought to you by Lundy Funeral Home and Northridge Cremation and Chapel.
Now your North Country sports.
Well, long before the scoring exploits of Paige McCormick at Heuvelton, there was Missy West of Malone. This talented athlete excelled in basketball and softball and earned a Division I scholarship. I had a chance to catch up with her at the North Country Sports Hall of Fame ceremony a couple of weeks back. Missy West is a 1996 graduate of Franklin Academy in Malone. The outstanding athlete in high school then went on to play college basketball at Duke, helping to lead her team to the 1999 national championship game.
I don't remember a lot of my games. I don't remember a lot of wins or losses or how many points I scored, but I remember the people. And the North Country has done so much for me. They've really supported me probably in my weakest moments. So it's just certainly an honor to be here to celebrate the North Country and the North Country athletics, because it certainly has changed my life for the better.
West continues to excel, this time as a motivational speaker and coach. It's fun, though, to look back at her success.
You become part of the environment that you're in, and the environment that I've always been in is with good people, and those good people have pushed me to excel, to do some things that I never believed in myself. So the whole thing going to Duke and some of the, the opponents that I faced, some of those opponents that I faced are my closest friends now. So it's been exciting. It's fun to think back to the good old days and just kind of reminisce from back then.
Missy West, the Malone legend who continues to make an impact. A college soccer doubleheader at Jefferson Community College, both the Cannoneer men and women hosting Cayuga. The last regular season home games for the season at the Coffeen Street campus. In the women's game, Dana Cowles with the goal, putting Jefferson on top 1-0. Later in the first half, 1-1 tie. Sierra Fleming with a nice effort tickles Twine. 2-1 Jefferson. Final score, Jefferson 8, Cayuga 1. On the men's side, Jefferson, Cayuga. Cannoneer men give it a good effort today, but it's not enough. Final score, Cayuga 4, Jefferson nothing. With the American League Championship Series tied at 2 games apiece, Game 5 going on at this hour between the Astros and Yanks. By the way, the Yanks lead in the 4th by a score of 2-0. Yanks even the series last night with a come-from-behind victory in the Bronx. The winner of today's game heads to Houston, needing 1 win to reach the World Series, so Yankee Stadium figures to be rocking again today. A 1 win from their first World Series appearance in 29 years. The Los Angeles Dodgers go for a 4-game sweep of the Chicago Cubs in the National League Championship Series at Wrigley Field this evening. Los Angeles is 6-0 this postseason, setting a franchise record for consecutive playoff victories. Another one would give the storied franchise its 22nd pennant. Dodgers' only 4-game postseason sweep came in the 1963 World Series against the New York Yankees. It's a matchup of well-rested pitchers. The Dodgers send left-hander Alex Wood against Cub righty Jake Arrieta. With the NBA season officially underway, 22 teams return to the court tonight. Boston returns home down a key player. Gordon Hayward broke his left ankle just 5 minutes into his Celtics debut in a 102-99 loss to the Cavaliers in Cleveland last night. after the 27-year-old was wheeled from Quicken Loans Arena on a stretcher, offering a thumbs up on his way to the ambulance. The Celtics rallied but came up short. They'll host the Milwaukee Bucks tonight. Early starts have Brooklyn at Indiana, Charlotte visiting the Pistons in Detroit, Miami up the road in Orlando, and Philadelphia down I-95 in Washington to face the Wizards. And that's my court report.
Thank you. And who did JCC play today?
Cayuga.
There it is.
Yeah.
Mel Bustler, back here in a couple of moments.
Join the Orchestra of Northern New York for its gala opening concert of its 30th season when it presents Beethoven and Brahms October 21st and 22nd in Potsdam and Watertown. Under the direction of Maestro Kenneth Andrews and with the generous support of the Northern New York Community Foundation and the New York State Council on the Arts, this 55-piece orchestra is the North Country's only year-round professional symphony orchestra. For tickets or more information, call 315-267-2277 or visit onny.org.
This fall, there are more reasons than ever to fall for New York State. From the Olympics of pumpkin tossing to hair-raising hay rides to family fun of amazing proportions. There's lots to do this fall in New York State. It's all here. It's only here. See a full list of fall events at iloveny.com.
We were at St. Joseph's Hospital in Syracuse, and he looked at me and said, "I just want to go home, Jill." And I knew at that point I would be calling hospice in. I'm a nurse, you know, a nurse is a nurse. It's not really true. The end-of-life care is so delicate and so, it's beautiful, actually, and hospice made it that way. I wouldn't be sitting here today if it wasn't for hospice, too. They're important to me.
Finally tonight, the old Woodruff Hotel was once a landmark in Watertown, but it was demolished decades ago. But now it lives on in the art of Thelma Hamilton. She's keeping the Woodruff's memory alive by painting its likeness on Christmas ornaments. This is an annual tradition for Thelma. Every year since 2001, she hand paints Watertown landmarks onto ornaments. The hotel holds a special place in her heart.
It was a gathering place for many, many people. There was weddings and bands and dancing, and underneath it was my favorite place, was all the shops.
The ornaments go on sale next week. You can go to our website at wwnytv.com to find out how you can buy one. Let's find out what's coming up tonight at 11 o'clock. Jeff Nelson live in studio with that.
Well, Jeff, more tonight on the passing of a North Country pioneer. Longtime Potsdam Mayor Ruth Gardner has passed away at the age of 101. We'll have more on her story coming up at 11 o'clock and 10.
Such an incredible woman, a trailblazer in politics and locally beloved, you know, just as a person.
I mean, did so well. The CBS, I think CBS came to town and did a whole feature on her as well.
Years ago they did that. That's right. All right, that does it for our report tonight. Thank you for watching the CBS Evening News. Up next, join these gentlemen at 11 o'clock. Good night.